So, not too long ago, Japanese gamers were asked to vote on who they thought the scariest ghosts in the entire Fatal Frame series were. You know me, I hear Fatal Frame and I come running, so here we are. This week, let's take a look at what they voted and see whether you agree with their assessment or not. You may or may not be surprised with who they thought was the scariest Fatal Frame ghost of all time. Needless to say, this video will contain spoilers for many old games if you have, for some reason, not played them yet, so beware. But without further ado, let's head in. Number 10. Coming in at number 10, or rather a joint 9, I suppose, it's Himino Fuyuhi from Fatal Frame 5. Known in Japanese as Fuyuhi with the slit throat, that pretty much tells you all you need to know about her being a ghost. Before the events of the game, Fuyuhi visited Mount Hikami with 4 friends in a pact to end their lives, but she and another friend, Haruka, survived. This brought the two girls closer together, but they agreed they would return someday to carry out again what they had failed the first time. Yet, Haruka returns to the mountain alone, greatly upsetting Fuyuhi. She then seeks help at Kurosawa's Antiques, and store owner Hisoka agrees to take the case on, but then disappears herself. Fuyuhi then heads back to the mountain by herself, followed by Yuri, who's trying to find, well, any of the missing women really. Yuri succeeds in finding Fuyuhi, but she's summoned back to the mountain and, after coming across Haruka's spirit, well, she lives up to her name of Fuyuhi with the slit throat. Number 9. Also coming in at number 9 is honestly one of my all-time favourite ghosts from the series, Kuze Reika, or the Tattooed Priestess. I mean, just look at her. That design is so unique, so beautiful, and just full of impact. But that's not all. Coming across her in the game is truly terrifying, and when you learn her story, you can't help but feel for her. Having lost her whole family in a disaster, Reika joins the Kuze Shrine as a priestess, and there is tattooed with the pain of the shrine's patrons. In time, she prepares for the Rite of Commandment, a ritual where she will descend into the abyss to bear the pain of all the shrine's patrons in eternal sleep. However, unable to let go of her first love, well, in typical Fatal Frame manner, things go very, very badly. When he is murdered in front of her, well, all hell breaks loose, and her dreams start infecting people out in the real world. And if you run into her in the manner of sleep, well, good luck. You'll need it. Number 8. Coming in at number 8, it's Broken Neck from the first game. You encounter this creepy lady after leaving the doll room for the first time, and, well, she's certainly hard to forget. This unfortunate lady was, like everyone in the first game, present when the calamity happened at the Himuro Mansion, and she jumped from the Moon Observatory, which is what caused her current appearance. According to the devs, she was originally going to wear Western-style clothing, but they felt that a kimono better suited the setting. She was also one of the staff's favourite ghosts, so if you're a fan of this lady, you're in good company. Number 7. Coming in at number 7, we have her Fatal Frame 2 counterpart, the Broken Neck Woman. Unlike Broken Neck, who's basically throwing it back for us, Broken Neck Woman instead leans to the side thanks to her unfortunate fall. Much like her Fatal Frame 1 buddy, this unfortunate woman was present in Minakami Village when the repentance happened, and to avoid it, she jumped from the Heaven Bridge to her death below. Unfortunately for her, anyone present when the darkness spread was unable to escape it, even in death, and so she still lingers near where she died, and you can encounter her a few times through the game. I dare say she's one of the most popular ghosts amongst Western audiences as well, but let me know in the comments whether she's up there for you too. Number 6. My eyes! My eyes! Coming in at number 6, it's My Eyes! I mean, the Blinded Maiden from Fatal Frame 1. Now, while I don't personally find this ghost that scary, more annoying with how often she screams, "My eyes," her story is certainly terrifying and not something I'd wish upon anyone. The Blinded Maiden was the last member of the Himuro family, only 17 at the time, to take part in the blinding ritual. During this ritual, the young woman was held down while the family master put the blinding mask on her face. As its name would suggest, well, it had 2 stakes in the eyes. To, blind the wearer. Of course, she was there when the calamity happened, and now she roams the mansion screaming about her missing eyes and looking for the next person to take her place. Number 5. Coming in at number 5, finally, our first ghost from Fatal Frame 4, Sendo Kageri, also known as the Woman in Black Pushing a Wheelchair in Japanese. Like many in this game, she was a patient at Rogetsu Hall, suffering from Moonlight Syndrome. Kageri is an interesting character, having a fixation with death when she was alive, and even believing that she was actually born dead. At some point, she pushes her twin sister Kaoru from a height so that she can join her in a state of undeath, but instead she just paralyzes her. Kaoru ends up taking her own life, and then Kageri makes a doll that looks just like them, calling it Me, that she pushes around in a wheelchair. She also goes around the hospital trying to kill people to make friends for Me, so she's not exactly right in the head. And unfortunately, she was there when Sakuya bloomed and stalked the island on the Day of Tranquility. So in the end, she got the actual death she thought she always had. Number 4. Now we're getting into the big leagues. Coming in at number 4, arguably one of the most famous and certainly most memorable ghosts in the entire series. We have the Fallen Woman from Fatal Frame 2. If you've played that game before, then you still no doubt remember exactly the first time you came across her. As you walk down the stairs of the clock hall in the Kiryu house, suddenly the camera cuts to a bird's eye view before you lock eyes with her. A screaming woman plummeting towards the ground who lands with a sickening thud. And at the bottom she writhes in pain, crawling around on her back as she attacks. Like the broken neck woman, she also jumped in an attempt to avoid the darkness, but now is stuck in a constant loop of falling to her death at the bottom of the stairs, over and over, until someone can finally break the village's curse. Yikes. Number 3. Coming in at number 3, a number that may surprise many, is the girl in the blood-stained kimono, or Kurosawa Sae from Fatal Frame 2. Many of you might have suspected she'd be at the top of the list, or at least number 2, but instead we find her here. The main villain of Fatal Frame 2, arguably the most popular game in the series. It's really not all that shocking to see her so high up the list though. What can we even say about her? She went through the strangling ritual all by herself when her sister fled, leaving her behind, and of course, you need both twins for the ritual to succeed, so things didn't exactly go according to plan. In fact, things went so badly that darkness burst from the abyss when Saya was sacrificed and trapped the village in a basically endless night of living hell. Urban legends spread of her maniacal laughter that could be heard near the location of the former, but now lost, village. And needless to say, running into her vengeful spirit doesn't tend to end well. And all she wanted was to be together with her sister. Forever. Number 2. Here she is. Undoubtedly one of my favourite Fatal Frame ghosts of all time. The wonderful, the fantastic, the superbly creepy, tall woman from Fatal Frame 5. Based on the infamous Hashaku-sama story from Ni Channel in 2008, she is incredibly tall, lanky, and just downright creepy. Perhaps the best part of all is that unlike the other ghosts in this game, she has no story. You can't glimpse her last seconds in life, see how she died or why she is the way she is. She's a total enigma, and she will just randomly show up to scare the pants off you, whether it's jump scaring you in the forests of Mount Hikami or lurking in front of the security cameras in Kurosawa's Antiques. She also never stops smiling. Not hard to see why she's so high up the list. A true legend. Number 1. And finally, the ghost that Japanese audiences voted as the scariest in the whole series. Who could it possibly be? I'm not gonna lie, this one surprised me, but it turns out they really like Asanuma Kiriko, or the Crawling Woman from Fatal Frame 3. Asanuma was at home when robbers broke in one night and murdered her family. She hid in the closet and was able to survive, but the psychological trauma of what happened was too much, and she was admitted to the hospital. However, she then disappeared, falling victim to the tattooed curse and finding herself drawn into the manner of sleep. There you can find her crawling around various crawl spaces, looking for an exit. Yet, she's unable to leave, just like she was unable to leave the confined space of the closet, as her family was being murdered outside it. Her jump scare under the floorboards is undoubtedly up there as one of the most memorable in the series, so I'm guessing that's why so many people liked her. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with this list? Who do you think were the scariest ghosts in the series? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.